echo of the abyss. Secrets that kill. In the fog-drenched claws of a crumbling coastal hamlet known as Whispers by the Sea, the ghostly echoes of a murder long past still whispered through the deserted alleyways. Ere the ocean's biting chill seeped deep into every crevice, every stone, every soul, a poison crafted from 1,000 forgotten secrets. The townsfolk lived like shadows of themselves, moving through their days with wary eyes and hushed voices. They feared the dark corners where the mist thickened, afraid of encountering the specter known only as the Reaper, a figure shrouded in myth and terror, who left behind nothing but cold graves, crimson warnings, and riddles that no mind dared to untangle. In the dim confines of the local newspaper's office, Thomas Calder sat hunched over a battered desk, the light from a single flickering bulb casting long, skeletal shadows on the peeling walls. His once brilliant career, now in tatters, had collapsed under the weight of the failure to catch the Reaper, to bring justice to a town desperate for it. His hands, stained with regret, trembled as he traced old case files, his reflection in the cracked window as haunted as the town itself. Meanwhile, down by the battered pier, Detective Elizabeth Marlowe gripped the weather-beaten railing, her knuckles whitening under the pressure of unspoken guilt. Each crashing wave against the rocks below seemed to echo her internal torment. She had come here, seeking redemption for a decision made long ago that had cost lives, a decision that still gnawed at her conscience like a relentless tide. Fate cruel, calculating. Fate drew them together at a gathering hosted by the enigmatic and aloof Lady Isabella Blackwood. The occasion was meant to commemorate the Blackwood heir, Oliver, missing and presumed dead, allegedly the Reaper's final victim. The air at the manor crackled with tension, suspicion thick as the encroaching fog. Across the crowded, candlelit ballroom, Calder and Marlowe locked eyes, a fleeting moment of recognition between two fractured souls. Without a word, they understood. Only together could they hope to survive the unraveling nightmare awaiting them. They began their uneasy alliance that night, piecing together whispers and fragments buried beneath decades of deceit. Early leads pointed them to abandoned tunnels beneath the town, to secret chambers filled with ancient ledgers and blood-stained relics. They followed the trail with the reluctant help of the seer, a strange woman with a gift for reading omens in the wind and shadows. Through her cryptic visions, Calder and Marlowe learned that Oliver's disappearance was no isolated tragedy, but a single thread in a tapestry of betrayal stretching generations deep. Corruption, greed, and ambition had festered behind the town's crumbling facade like rot beneath aging flesh. Each discovery pulled them further into danger. They faced booby-trapped corridors, silent pursuers in the mist, and townsfolk who preferred old sins buried rather than unearthed. Each step closer to the truth cost them dearly physically, emotionally, spiritually. And as they delved deeper, they stumbled upon the hidden fortune, a vault sealed beneath the Blackwood Manor, its existence protected by generations of bloodshed. Inside it lay not only riches, but secret that could shatter the town's fragile reality, including documentation proving that Lady Isabella herself had orchestrated the Reaper killings. At the heart of it all was ambition, Isabella's relentless thirst for power. To finance her vision of transforming Whispers by the Sea into a private empire, she had struck unholy bargains and committed unspeakable acts. even sacrificing her own son to preserve her plan. In a harrowing confrontation during a violent coastal storm, Calder and Marlowe confronted Isabella Pisare. The manor trembled under the force of the winds. Broken windows screamed against the tempest. Isabella stood before them, a figure both regal and monstrous, unrepentant in her madness. "You think you're saving this town?" she sneered, her voice a dagger of ice. "You are condemning it to oblivion." But Calder and Marlowe stood firm, battered but unbowed. They knew the cost of truth. It carved scars deeper than any blade, but they also knew the cost of silence was far worse. They exposed Isabella's crimes to the town, unleashing a flood of rage and sorrow. For some, the revelation came too late. Others found a grim kind of closure. The Blackwood dynasty crumbled, its fortress reduced to ruins, both physical and reputational. Yet, victory came at a heavy price. Calder lost the last shreds of his professional reputation. Marlowe, though vindicated, knew she could never outrun the ghosts of those she had failed. Together, they stood at the edge of the broken pier. One final time, the first fragile rays of dawn piercing the thinning mist. They did not speak. Words would have cheapened the moment. In their silence was understanding. Their lives, fractured beyond easy repair, were now stitched together by threads of shared sacrifice, shared betrayal, and shared hope. The town of Whispers by the Sea would never be what it once was. Neither would they. But perhaps, in the ruins left behind, something new, something honest could be built. And maybe, just maybe, two broken souls could find, not redemption, but something just as precious: peace.